Well, good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor, and in the next 30 minutes, I'll be taking you through the day's biggest news developments from a national, international sports front, starting with the headlines. 13 Jawans injured as militants carried out a series of attacks on security forces in South Kashmir. Pakistan-based militant groups claim responsibility. Formal notification for presidential polls to be issued today. BJP to pitch for its own choice of candidate, says people's mandate is with us. RBI identifies 12 mega defaulters for insolvency. Accounts responsible for 25% of 8 lakh crore rupees bad loans. Centre rushes paramilitary forces to Darjeeling as the GJM stir intensifies. Protesters clashed with the police. Centre demands report from the West Bengal government. And 8 killed and 350 houses submerged as floods ravage Mizoram. Mizoram-Assam National Highway cut off, 134 dead in Bangladesh floods. Now, the process for electing India's 13th president will be set in motion today, with the Election Commission formally issuing a notification. Now, the elections will take place on the 17th of July, and the last date for the filing of nominations is 28th of June. Scrutiny of nominations will happen on 29th of June, and the last date for the withdrawal is 1st of July. Counting of votes will take place on 20th of July, 4 days before incumbent President Pranab Mukherjee's term ends. Now, with the start of the presidential poll process, the leaders of the opposition parties will today huddle to chalk out their strategy and decide on a consensus candidate. The 10-member subgroup of the opposition is scheduled to meet today. Meanwhile, the BJP President Amit Shah has constituted a 3-member committee which will consult political parties, including the opposition, to select a consensus candidate for the presidential poll. The committee comprises of Union Ministers SINGH, Arun Jaitley and M. Venkaiah Naidu. Big story coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where militants on Tuesday carried out a series of attacks on security forces in Kashmir, in which 13 Jawans were injured and 4 service rifles were looted. Now, the attacks, 4 in South and 1 in North Kashmir, came in a span of just 4 hours. A grenade was hurled at a CRPF camp in Ladiar in Tral area of Pulwama district. 10 paramilitary Jawans were injured in this attack. In the second attack, the militants opened fire on the security personnel guarding the residence of a retired High Court judge in Anantnag district, resulting in injuries to 2 corps. The police chief said that the ultras snatched 4 rifles as well from the corps posted there. And the third attack took place on a CRPF camp in Padgampura in Pulwama, but no one was injured. The militants also then hurled a grenade at a Pulwama police station, resulting in minor injuries to a policeman. Another attack took place near Bomai in North Kashmir's Sopore, but no damage was caused. Now, an update on the conditions in Darjeeling, and with the West Bengal government and the Gorkha Jan Mukti Morcha at loggerheads, Darjeeling continues to boil. Now, the centre has rushed 600 additional paramilitary personnel to the region to assist the administration in restoring normalcy. The GJM supporters who are demanding a separate state of Gorkha land on Tuesday pelted stones at the police in various parts of Darjeeling as they were stopped from enforcing their shutdown in government offices. As many as 6 parties, including the Gorkha Jan Mukti Morcha and the Gorkha National Liberation Front, have adopted a resolution now for separate Gorkha land state. As the indefinite ban called by the GJM entered the second day on Tuesday, many tourists have been left stranded by the agitation. Now, the GJM has asked the centre's intervention. Meanwhile, the Home Ministry, which is closely monitoring the situation, has now sought a detailed report from the West Bengal government on the prevailing situation.
ऑल पार्टी मीटिंग में सीपीआरएम आया, जीएनएलएफ आया, गोरखालैंड राष्ट्रीय निर्माण मोर्चा आया, बीजेपी आया, हाँ भारतीय गोरखा परिसंघ आया, गोरखा जनमुक्ति मोर्चा था। तो आज का मीटिंग काफी सक्सेसफुल रहा है। हम लोग यूनाइटेड हुआ है अपना कॉज गोरखालैंड का लिए।
As the indefinite Bandh entered its second day, Darjeeling and several places across North Bengal turned violent, with Gorkhaland supporters pelting stones at the police.
ये तो हमारा बहुत पुरानी मांग है, तो 100% हम लोग सक्सेस करके रहेंगे। तो जी
कितना दिन तक चलेगा आपका ये जो प्रोटेस्ट?
ये अब जब तक हमारा गोरखालैंड नहीं होगा उस टाइम तक हम लोग के प्रोटेस्ट चलते रहेगा। अब तो रोकने वाला नहीं है।
Protesters were stopped by the police from enforcing their shutdown in many government offices. Darjeeling came to a standstill as shops were shut and transport remained off the roads. Some of the schools also remained shut. Security forces and state police flung into action to control the crowd.
लोग खुद देख रहे हैं, ठीक है, अभी कंट्रोल में है।
एक चीज बताइए सर, जो प्रोटेस्ट से लाठी चार्ज जो हुआ वो सिर्फ अनप्रोवोक्ड
अभी सिचुएशन कंट्रोल में है।
तो बंद कॉल किया गया है, उस हिसाब से सिचुएशन ठीक है। कहीं पर लोग बंद कराने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, जिसका जो तैनात बल है वो बिल्कुल सही तरीके से उनका निपटान कर रही है।
Amid the tension, Gorkha Janmukti Morcha Chief Bimal Gurung said the centre has assured it will consider their demand for a separate Gorkhaland. He also added that their ally BJP has always been in favour of small states. The centre, however, is closely monitoring the situation in the hill town and has offered complete assistance to the West Bengal government in order to restore normalcy.
I think the issue in the hills is Gorkhas are having an identity crisis, and the West Bengal government, both the left front for 34 years and the TMC party for the last 6 years, are responsible for this identity crisis of the Gorkhas.
Over the last 2 days, government offices have been vandalized in Darjeeling, while many tourists were stranded by the agitation. The Gorkha Janmukti Morcha, which controls the Gorkhaland Territorial Administration, has called a shutdown of all state and GTO offices to press for its demand for a separate state. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
All right, let's get an update from Akhilesh Suman, who is tracking all those developments in Darjeeling very, very closely. A very good morning, Akhilesh. We saw on the second day of the DGM's indefinite strike, the agitation has now spread to the adjacent areas of Darjeeling. Now, the tea gardens in the hills have also gone on a protest mode. And we understand now that the centre has also rushed additional paramilitary force to Darjeeling. What can we expect today?
Yeah, today I think that yesterday the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha had called an all-party meeting. And you can tell that this all-party meeting was all successful. Other than the CPM, BJP is the major party that attended that meeting, other than this Gorkha outfits. One revolutionary Communist Party also attended this meeting. So you can say that the way Gorkha Janmukti Morcha was being shown that it is isolated, it is not isolated. They have enough political mass behind them. And if you see the footage, you can understand that the people are on the road. People are with Gorkha Janmukti Morcha in this point of time. So the polarization is becoming very sharp in hill areas. And you know that yesterday in Jalpaiguri, that is far away from Darjeeling, many Darjeeling hills. In Jalpaiguri, there was a clash between police and Gorkha Janmukti Morcha supporters. So you can understand that the things are being spread. And this is the area where tea gardens are situated in Jalpaiguri area, and tea gardens are being the worst affected as far as locals are concerned, as far as the employment of the people are concerned. So, sorry, I think that today also there will be difficult situation for the government to control the whole situation. And state government is not going into any sort of talk, any compromise, and neither state government has sent any report till now to the center. When I am talking to BJP people yesterday, I talked to BJP President Mr. Dilip Ghosh. He said that this is the job of the state government, how they want to tackle the situation. Because if they want to, if they ask me for anything, paramilitary forces or whatever, we are ready to go. But after all, it is the question that the state government has to address, and the state government has committed in its tripartite talks with GJM that there will be consideration of Gorkha land. So it's really a surprising situation that the center is unable to intervene in this situation because the state government is not asking any help, any political help rather, from the center. And I talked to CPM people also. CPM people are telling that we cannot attend this meeting, all-party meeting called by GJM because we never supported Gorkha land. And when CPM was in power, left front was in power, solution was found without Gorkha land issue. Gorkha land was not in the agreement between center, state and Gorkha Janmukti Morcha.
Yes.
But when Mamata Banerjee came to power, she made an agreement in which Gorkha land issue was associated. So it is very natural that when you accept certain demand in one point of time, whenever the crisis depends, they will come up with that demand. So this is the very natural corollary that Mamata Banerjee's party and even BJP had been associated with Gorkha land demand, and now it is the fruit that is coming.
Right.
So it's a very worrisome situation as far as the people here in Kolkata, people in West Bengal are thinking polarization may increase between hill people and the people in the plains, and this is why they are telling that this is the whole plot of the state government, that they want the polarization to deepen.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so the worrisome condition continues there in Darjeeling. The agitation has spread to adjacent areas as well, and the trade unions have also joined hand with the Gorkhas. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all those updates from Kolkata. Meanwhile, in the latest developments from Madhya Pradesh now, Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan will visit Mandsaur today to meet the families of the farmers killed in police firing last week. The Chief Minister is also expected to meet the farmer leaders. Meanwhile, Congress leader Jyotiraditya Scindia has announced to sit on a 72-hour satyagraha in Bhopal. Scindia will start his 3-day satyagraha against the Mandsaur police firing and demanding a loan waiver for farmers there. Remember, on Tuesday, police had arrested Congress leaders Jyotiraditya Scindia as well as Kantilal Bhurya at Mandsaur border in Ratlam district. They were trying to go to violence at Mandsaur district, and they were trying to meet the farmers and the families of the deceased. They were later released. Earlier in the day, Gujarat's Patidar Kota stirred leader Hardik Patel was also stopped from entering Mandsaur.
पर्दाफाश हम करके रहेंगे, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं। और 144 लगा है तो मैंने पुलिस को कहा है मैं अकेले जाऊंगा। कौन रोक सकता है अगर एक इंसान अकेले जाना चाहता है? ये हिटलर शाही है कि क्या है?
तो हम यहाँ से इंदौर जा रहे हैं और ये लोग किसी भी शिवराज मामा के आदेश पर अरेस्ट करने का कहा है, लेकिन देखेंगे, हम इंदौर जरूर जाएंगे, किसानों से मिलेंगे।
हिंसा भड़काने में या हिंसा करने में जिन लोगों को पुलिस इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रही है, उनके विरुद्ध पुलिस के द्वारा कार्रवाई हो रही है। जो भी तथ्य हैं, जो भी उनको कहना है, वो न्यायिक जांच में कहें। उस न्यायिक जांच की जो रिपोर्ट आएगी, उस रिपोर्ट के आधार पर सरकार कार्रवाई करेगी।
All right, so there is no end to the politics as far as the Mandsaur region is concerned. Remember this, in Mandsaur region, the farmers' protest which began on 1st of June had taken a violent turn, and on 6th of June, 5 of the farmers were killed in police firing in Mandsaur. Subsequently, there has been restoration of peace there, but the politics over this issue continues. And a number of political leaders are trying to reach Mandsaur. Yesterday, we saw Hardik Patel also, and he was trying to reach Mandsaur and trying to show his solidarity with the farmers, but he was arrested on his way to Mandsaur to meet the farmers there. Similarly, other leaders are also trying to get to Mandsaur, and they're trying to meet the farmers and the kin of those who were killed in the police firing last week. Hardik Patel was arrested earlier. So after that police firing on 6th of June, where 5 of them were killed in police firing at Mandsaur, the farmers' protest has actually witnessed bandh and arson as the agitation spread to other districts of Western Madhya Pradesh, including Neemuch, Dhar, Ratlam and Jhabua as well. Remember, earlier Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan had launched an indefinite fast as well with an appeal for peace, and he also met the farmer leaders, but he ended his fast on Sunday, saying that peace has returned to the state. He also earlier assured that the people who were involved in the death of the farmers in Mandsaur would be punished severely. Remember earlier, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi was also detained on his way to Mandsaur when he wanted to go to Mandsaur and meet the family members of the farmers killed in police firing. So what we are seeing unfolding in Mandsaur is political drama after the police firing on 6th of June that killed 5 farmers in Mandsaur. All right, let's get the update from Ravindra Singh Shoran, who is joining us live from Mandsaur. Ravindra, what is the situation there and what can we expect in the day to unfold? Because we are seeing that in spite of the peace really returning to Mandsaur, the politics over that issue continues because a number of political leaders are trying to go and meet these farmers and the kin of those who were killed.
Yeah, good morning, Aishwarya. Though the peace is returning gradually here, but the tension still remains and it will continue as many political leaders, they are trying to enter in Mandsaur to meet the farmer of the family of the deceased farmer, but the administration is not allowing them to come and the administration just want to avoid any kind of untoward incident which can possible occur if more than 5 people, because section 144 has already been imposed here. More than 5 people are not allowed to congregate to avoid any kind of untoward incident. Also, the Chief Minister is scheduled to visit today. The Chief Minister is going to meet the family and the kith and kins of the farmers who died here, the peasants, and he is going to hand over the check of 1 crore rupees which has been announced by him earlier before calling off his upavas of 1 day which he did in Bhopal. Yes. Despite this, the agitation, the tension refused to die down here in Mandsaur. After the Chief Minister announced, when he was trying to pacify the farmers, the Chief Minister announced that if any farmer, any trader will be fined taking, buying the product of a farmer less than the minimum support price, then it will be, he will be charged under the criminal offense. And this announcement gave birth to a new controversy, and the furor still is going on. After this, following this announcement, the traders of all the 2 to 6 grain markets, they have called a strike, and the indefinite strike which began yesterday is still continuing, and no work has been done in the mandis all across the Madhya Pradesh. The Chief Minister is scheduled to meet some of the trader unions leader as well today in Bhopal, and post that we are hopeful that something can be done, and the work which has been suspended by the traders can also come back to their normal life. Also, the suicide in the Madhya Pradesh is still continuing. More than 3 people have committed suicide yesterday.
So the condition and the situation in Mandsaur continues to remain tense. Now Shivraj Singh Chauhan is going to go there and meet some of the families of the deceased farmers. Remember, he had earlier gone on a fast and for the restoration of peace. And of course, this is one big story that will continue tracking through the day. Let's move on in the bulletin now. The RBI is moving to resolve the bad loan crisis in the country, as it has identified now 12 accounts each having more than 5,000 crore rupees of outstanding loans. Now, the central bank says that these accounts are responsible for 25% of the total NPAs of banks. The Internal Advisory Committee of the RBI identified these 12 accounts for insolvency proceedings under the newly enacted Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. Now, with naming the defaulters, the Reserve Bank said that the lenders will now be asked to initiate insolvency proceedings to recover their dues. The RBI list came a day after Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley reviewed the performance of the state-owned banks in New Delhi on Monday. It is noteworthy that the banking sector is saddled with non-performing assets, or the NPAs, worth over 8 lakh crore rupees, of which 6 lakh crore rupees is with the public sector banks. Now, in exile, business tycoon Vijay Mallya was granted bail until 4th of December by a UK court in his extradition case on Tuesday. The 61-year-old former chief of now defunct Kingfisher Airlines appeared before the Westminster Magistrates Court in London for the case hearing. Vijay Mallya said that he was delighted to put forward this case in a fair court, claiming that he had enough evidence to plead his case. Britain's Crown Prosecution Service presented the case in court on behalf of the Indian authorities. The court will again hear the case on 6th of July. India has asked Britain to extradite Mallya to face trial after the liquor baron fled the country last March after defaulting on loans worth 9,000 crore rupees. Now, Indian Supreme Court is likely to pronounce a verdict on 10th of July as well and has asked the Union Home Ministry to secure and ensure Mallya's presence in the court. However, Minister of State for External Affairs, General V.K. Singh, refused to fix a time frame, saying that India will act when the UK law gives a go-ahead.
You can keep dreaming about £1 billion, provided you have facts, right, to justify your question. Right? You don't know the facts, so don't ask irrelevant questions.
All right, let's get you some more national news in Nationwide. Haryana government has decided to grant maternity leave of up to 45 days to married girls studying in universities and colleges in the state. This will enable them to complete their education without any gap or hindrance. As per Education Minister Ram Vilas Sharma, women students with prior permission and after producing valid medical certificate can apply for leave. The anti-tank guided missile Nag was successfully flight tested in the desert ranges of Rajasthan. ATGM Nag is incorporated with advanced technology. It has imaging infrared radar seeker with integrated avionics capability, which is possessed by few nations in the world. The test was carried out by DRDO scientists at Pune. The CBI has arrested Manoj Jaiswal and Abhishek Jaiswal, promoters of mining company Abhijit Group, for alleged criminal conspiracy and cheating. Along with them, a former DGM of Canara Bank has also been arrested for allegedly causing a loss of 290 crore rupees to the bank. The investigation has indicated that it is a large-scale scam in which 13 companies of Abhijit Group took loans from over 20 banks and financial institutions, which allegedly turned into non-performing assets since 2014, resulting in outstanding loans of 11,000 crore rupees. Now, 8 people were killed and 6 went missing in floods triggered by heavy rainfall in Mizoram on Tuesday. Flash floods wreaked havoc in Lunglai district, submerging hundreds of houses and disrupting power and telecommunication system. National Highway 54, which links the state with Assam, was also cut off at different places due to landslides in many districts. Now, schools have been asked to remain closed in the region. Assam's capital Guwahati also witnessed heavy rainfall and massive waterlogging, which threw life out of gear. Now, landslides also occurred at 3 places. Knee-deep water flooded all the major roads of the city, creating havoc in traffic management. Now, commuters were stranded for hours due to waterlogging. The state government has set up 5 relief camps for the affected people.
इमरजेंसी रिलीफ हिसाब से जो हेल्प चाहिए हम इन लोग का करेंगे लाइक मेडिकल हेल्प एंड ड्रिंकिंग वाटर और जो फैसिलिटी चाहिए हम इनको टिकटा करेंगे हम दे देंगे नाव का व्यवस्था हम करेंगे अभी नाव होगा एंड इन लोग का जो हेल्प चाहिए हम इसका टिकटा करेंगे.
Meanwhile, a series of landslides triggered by heavy monsoon rains have also killed at least 130 people, including several army officers in Bangladesh. The death toll is likely to rise further as many people remain buried under tons of rubble. According to PTI reports, the highest casualties are in Rangnamati area with nearly 100 people dead, followed by 23 in Rangwani and in Chittagong as well. 4 army personnel, including 2 officers, are also among the dead. According to reports, many of the victims belong to the tribal groups who live in makeshift structures along the hills. Traffic in capital Dhaka and Chittagong has also been disrupted by the torrential rains. The landslide triggered by monsoon rains came 2 weeks after cyclone Mora hit Bangladesh. Earlier on Tuesday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also condoled the loss of lives. He further stated that India stands shoulder to shoulder with the neighbouring country. Now, UK and France have decided to joint crackdown on online terror. British Prime Minister Theresa May and French President Macron during their meet showed up a plan to tackle radicalization with fines for tech companies that do not take action. The two leaders also discussed Brexit, with Macron saying that as long as the negotiations are not over, there is still a possibility for UK to change the course of events. After facing terror attacks in recent years, both France and the UK have decided to work together to tackle online extremism. The two countries will launch a joint campaign to push internet companies like Facebook and Google to do more to remove terrorist material. Announcing the move in Paris, the British Prime Minister Theresa May said the internet must not be a safe space for extremists. This comes as Theresa May was welcomed by French President Emmanuel Macron at the Élysée Palace on Tuesday for a working dinner.
Our discussions today have focused on the greatest security challenge our two countries face, tackling terrorism and rooting out the extremism that fuels it. Both our countries have, sadly, experienced the horrors of terrorism all too recently.
Nous avons décidé ensemble d'aller plus loin ce soir, en travaillant depuis plusieurs jours sur un plan d'action très concret que nos équipes ont préparé et qui ce soir est rendu public. Ce plan d'action concret sera mis en œuvre par nos services.
It is Prime Minister May's first foreign trip since losing her majority at the election. During the talks with Macron, the issue of Brexit also came up. Macron said the possibility of the UK remaining in the European Union is an option until Brexit negotiations have concluded. But he said he acknowledged and respected that a decision to leave had been taken by the British people.
La porte est évidemment toujours ouverte tant qu'il n'y a pas une négociation du Brexit qui est achevée, mais que la décision a été prise par le peuple souverain britannique de sortir de l'Union européenne. Et moi, je respecte la souveraineté des peuples.
And I confirmed to President Macron that the timetable for the Brexit negotiation remains on course and will begin next week.
The meeting between Macron and May comes as UK officials gear up for the start of Brexit talks on 19th of June. May says negotiations would begin on time despite the unexpected election result and the ongoing talks with the DUP to shore up a minority government. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. On to cricket now. In the Champions Trophy, hosts England will take on Pakistan in the first semi-final at Cardiff today. Now, pre-tournament favourites England, who have never won a global 50-over tournament, are the only side with 100% record from their three group games. They booked their place in the last four by beating Bangladesh and New Zealand by convincing margins before overcoming an early batting collapse to beat Australia in the rain-affected match. Now, out-of-form opener Jason Roy is likely to be replaced by Johnny Bairstow for the semi-final match. Pakistan, on the other hand, lost their opening game to arch-rivals India, but they came back strongly to beat world number one side South Africa as well as Sri Lanka to reach the semi-finals. Now, England have won 12 of the past 14 ODIs against Pakistan, dating back to 2010. That's it from me and my team in this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.